Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be reviewing The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This is the third film in the Conjuring trilogy, and it is the newest installment in that Conjuring franchise. Now, the Conjuring franchise is interesting as it's one of the main, it is probably the main horror franchise out there at the moment. It consists of 3 Conjuring films, 3 Annabelle films, and I believe The Nun as well. I can't recall any others at the moment. Those are ones that I'm pretty sure are in there. And yeah, all 3 Conjuring films, I have to say, are great. 2 Annabelle films, one Annabelle film is good. Annabelle Creation is probably up there with the Conjuring films, and everything else is kind of average. But yeah, the main standouts of this franchise is the Conjuring films, and I have to say this Conjuring film is good. It is very good, but it is not great. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't deserve to be in the trilogy if you compare it to the other 2. The other 2, yes, are better than this one, but that shouldn't take anything away from this. This is the first Conjuring film that isn't directed by James Wan, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this was a new director. He did something fresh, something new, and although it isn't as good as those 2 films, it does not disappoint. There's plenty of good new takes, new directing choices, and overall a satisfying horror story. Now, this film stars the Warrens, as all the Conjuring films do, and I've got to say they're the heart of this franchise. I believe without these 2 as the main characters from the first Conjuring film to this one, it just wouldn't feel the same. They bring very charismatic performances to their characters, and especially in this film, it does focus a lot more on their background, their personal relationship from when they first met to now. And I appreciate that because obviously these 2 characters are amazing, everyone knows that. So it's interesting and great to see that they've focused a bit more on them. The plot of this film focuses around a guy who, in the title, it gives it away, the devil made him kill. The devil made him kill another character we see in this film, and it's based, I believe, on a true story, which it says at the end, which is quite interesting because it makes you think about this and like really bring you in and focus on that sort of plot, to think that it could have happened in real life. Now, personally, I don't really believe in that, but it's interesting nevertheless that this is based on a true story. The horror aspect of this film is mostly good. There are a few interesting horror aspects, jump scares, that are earned and done in interesting ways. One of the standout jump scares is actually towards the beginning with the hands over the rail of the bath. I thought that was done excellently, it really blended in and made you focus and think about the scene, and then when you eventually spot it, it really makes you like feel scared and worried and anxious in that scene, and I really appreciated that. That's what I mean by this director is trying new stuff. He's not just doing the same generic fake jump scares. There's 1 or 2 in this film which are very irritating, but they're literally 1 or 2 and I'm able to, let that go. As these other scares had a lot more effort and creativity to them. Now, throughout the film, a main sort of point or plot, should I say, is that the husband, Warren, I forgot his name, I really should know his name, but, oh yeah, the wife's Lorraine, I should know this guy's name, but he's the main character, and he's having heart attacks throughout the film. This is sort of an interesting route to make you more scared in those horror scenes and jump scare scenes, and create more tension. Now, the idea is brilliant. I think this is a great idea, especially for a horror film. But I really hope that they used it in a bit more creative and executed it in a more interesting way. Sometimes he would just have a heart attack and that would be it. And it's like, you've come up with this really brilliant idea, especially for a horror film. Use it in more creative ways. And an example of that I can sort of make up on the fly is There's a scene where Lorraine is touching the corpse of someone that could link these two cases that they're trying to get to, you know, discover throughout this film. And as she's doing this, she's allowing the demon that she's, you know, looking into to possess another corpse, a big corpse, like a really fat guy, whilst Lorraine is doing this. And they both realise that the possessed corpse is going to try and rush at Lorraine and, you know, get inside her. Now, this would have been a scene that as he's realising that this corpse is getting taken over, which we do see, imagine if he had a heart attack in this scene, which would have made it harder for him to get to Lorraine first before the corpse. That's the sort of stuff where you can build that tension. Whereas it's not used like that. It's used like very randomly sometimes, and sometimes very predictably. And it's just a shame because it's such a brilliant idea. It's used a couple times to make scenes more tense. The idea automatically makes it more tense. But they could have upped that tenseness by at least like 10 times if they just used it in a bit more creative ways and really thought about it. Now, we all know James Wan is literally the king of horror. He's proved that. I believe he was behind the Insidious films as well. I'm not sure. I believe only the first two. Correct me if I'm wrong. But those aren't bad either. Those first two Insidious films are very good. So, yeah, it's hard. It was really hard going into this film to think that this director was going to even match him, let alone go above him. And he didn't go above him, but he put in a really good effort and tried something new, and this film isn't bad. I'm talking about it like it's bad because I'm comparing it to James Wan. This is probably the weakest film in the Conjuring trilogy, but it's still a great horror film and better than most, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd say in this franchise, it's one of the better ones. Go out and see it because it's really quite a good film. So yeah, I'm going to give Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, a 7 out of 10. So yeah, that's my rating, and let me know yours in the comments below. So yeah, thank you, subscribe, leave a comment, like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.